Hey, my name is Jose Villalobos. I'm a software engineer, and I'm going to go through my web application called ReproBuy. ReproBuy is a web-based application based on ASP.NET that mimics a marketplace community-focused website. So think about it as a eBay or a Facebook marketplace. It is based on the MVC framework and uses the REST architecture, and basically it allows users to create their product listing, edit the product listing, or later on delete their product listing as well. There's logic within the Razor pages, so it allows specific HTML elements to show under specific requirements. So in this case, if you don't have an account registered with us, you cannot create a product listing. Users can upload their own picture for the product. They can also add details for their product, which has a semi-rich text editor, so any HTML text that you end up using will be shown up in the details product page, which I will show later on. It also contains JavaScript, so it has an add to cart feature, and it also has notification pop-ups for specific things. Okay, so this is the ReproBuy application. Right now we're at the home page, and as you can see here, we got 3 tabs: Home, Products, and Privacy. I got a search bar, which we'll go through in a bit. I got an add to cart, and you could also create an account with us. There's ad banners, and there's a feature tab, which every single one has a button that links to their specific product. So if I press products, it'll load up the product page. There's a table full of all the listings within the SQL database of all the products. So as you can see right here, every product has an image picture, image name, a category, an item ID, the account associated with it, the stock amount, and then the price. Every single one also has an add to cart. And if you don't have an image as well, it's not required. We will put an image for you, a default image, depending on the category that it is in. So if I click on this one per se, I can see the product details. So now that we're on the product details, it shows all the information in detail of the SQL item. So it shows all the overview. So in this case, this is the description that it was added into the item. There's the price. And then there's also some logic on there that divides it by 12, and it says, hey, there's financing available for it if you want to pay the full amount, or you could pay this amount for 12 months. So it's kind of like those Best Buy cards or those eBay cards, I guess, PayPal, that says, hey, there's no financing if you pay this amount for 12 months. So we added this as well, and it is able to calculate it and give you the output. So for now, we will make our own product. So if I were to log out, so if I didn't have an account, it says, hey, you can't create a product, you have to log in. So I'll log in, and now I can create my own product. So let's create a product right now, and we will be in the create page. So now that we're in the create page, it basically is a form that allows me to upload it into the SQL database. So let's say I want to sell a Switch. So right now I want to sell a Nintendo Switch, and I want to sell it for $299.99. The category of the product will be video games. I only have one of them, and this will be a copy paste that I found, description of the Nintendo Switch. So let's say I want to add any headers or bolding onto it. This does have a semi-rich text editor, so now I can change it, and it should save it into the detail page. And then it says take an image of your product. This will be the product picture. You don't have to have it, it's not required, but of course it will make the product look better. So if I upload it, it is now saved. And then it says, this product, we can't legally sell you that product because I haven't agreed to terms and conditions. So I'm going to press the checkbox. I can now sell the product. And now that the product's there, it is now down on the table, which shows that it is now saved on the SQL database. Once I click the item, I could go into the details. And just like I said, the rich text editor saves the HTML tags and outputs down here as well. So let's buy it now. So if I press add to cart, a pop-up shows up and it says item has been added to cart. You might not be able to see that, but if I were to change the camera on this side, I press add to cart again, There you go. Now there's a notification saying that I am able to buy a product. So now let's say I want to buy this computer. Looks like a good deal. And let's buy this bike as well. So now I have 4 items in my cart. I press the button and it shows me what items are in here, how many do I have, and if I press order, it now shows a table of only the items that are within my cart. I could go down, I could press continue to checkout, and that will be the end of the tutorial, or in this case, my project. So for the search bar, it only searches for specific names that you are looking up for. So if I were to type in Switch and press search, now it only looks for the items that are under Switch. So I got only one result, which is a Switch, which is great. Same thing if I were to type in just HP, I press search, it only searches for the HPs within the SQL database, and then outputs it right here. And then of course I could just buy it from there. So yeah. So let me show you the code that is in the project. So I'm going to show you how I use the MVC controller and the REST architecture to build it and how it is being used. And I'll show you some of the view pages, or at least one of them, to show the logic of how I included C# into it as well. So this is the product CS, which is under models. And basically what the model does, it directly manages the data and the logic and the rules of the application. So as you can see here, it is of the product, it is grabbing the ID, the price, the name, the category ID, the stock amount, and the account user, product description, image title, image name, and so forth. Product controllers, this is just one. I'll show you one, which is the create function. So this is the, when you press the button to create it, it is saying, hey, we want to create it, and the requirements for it is it needs all the fields within the table. So within the create task, what we first do is that we bind the properties onto it. So that is to ensure security. And then afterwards, it checks for model state if it's valid. If it's valid, then we're good to go. It checks if the product has an image photo. So in our case for Nintendo Switch, we did upload a photo for it. And what it does afterwards is that it grabs the photo image that you uploaded it saves the name and the extension, and it saves that into a string for the SQL database. If I were to pull down the Azure database, you can see down here, for example, our Nintendo Switch. The Switch image does have the string for it and the extension. Afterwards, it grabs the image itself physically and it puts it into an image folder. It adds the context, in this case all the information of the product, and it saves the change. It's waiting to save the changes as an asynchronous task, and then it directs them back to the index. So right now we're in the view pages for the details of a product. So this is the one where the enriched text is converted. It shows the product name and the product image and all that information and details. And this is part of the coding for it. As you can see, this is mainly focused with C#, but what's really good with CS_HTML is that you can add C# logic, and on top of that, add the HTML elements to show the user. So the user doesn't end up seeing all this logic, they only see what they need to see. So within here, model.imageName equals not null. So if the image is not nullified, what it'll do is that it says, okay, I need to grab the image source. So I want to output the image. So the source is saying I'm directing it into the folder image, and I'm looking for that specific model's image name. So for the Switch case, if I were to go to www.root, the image folder, and then hover over the Switch string that we saved, it says, hey, I want to grab this string from here, which is the guess with a bunch of information in there, a lot of text into that. And if I grab the database, if I go to Switch, it is the same exact name. So in that case, when we output it, it will be able to show it, which is fantastic. I know it didn't show a lot of information or coding within the project simply because it's a lot of coding within it. though, if you do want to check every single part of it, feel free to check the repo, the GitHub. I could show you a link of it in the description. I also have the Azure website up and open, so you can check it out and fiddle around with it if you'd like. That'll also be in the link down below. And just want to say I appreciate you guys checking it just to see, how it's made, or just a basic overview of it. It helps me out a lot. I'm kind of new to this whole video thing, but I want to just be able to show people what the project's about and show little snippets of the coding within it. So I appreciate it, and thank you.